Back in May of this year, 2021, I covered a song called You're a Good Old Car But You Can't Climb Hills, which features a photo of a Miss Ray Samuels on the cover of the sheet music. At the time, I had mentioned that I needed to look her up and see what I could learn about her. I learned that she and her husband, like many showbiz people, like to tell stories about their lives, and they didn't always tell those stories in the same way every time. And I also learned that sometimes those stories differed from other more official accounts. So with that said, here we go. Rachel Samuels, nicknamed Ray, was born in Chicago, Illinois on May 3, 1889, according to some sources, or in 1887, according to others. Although there is some uncertainty as to her exact birth year, there is no doubt that she was already performing in Chicago theaters as a young child, and she won her first amateur contest when she was 13, or I guess I should say about 13. She began her professional career during her teens, performing in a theater for $35 a week, which, adjusted for inflation, is about $1,000 a week in 2021 dollars. She did 8 shows a day, Monday through Saturday, and 10 shows on Sunday. She later said that in spite of the heavy performance schedule, she never got tired of it, and that her enthusiasm for the work was, quote-unquote, simply tremendous. One source says that she began performing in the vaudeville circuit in 1905 in an act called Musical Hearts with her sister and brother-in-law, but a talent scout convinced her that she was the only one in the act with any really promising talent. According to accounts, he was probably right. She broke from the trio and went off on her own. In 1907, or thereabouts, she met a boxing promoter named Marty Forkin, who became her agent. They later married in either 1911 or 1914, according to varying accounts. So she was actually no longer a miss when she performed You're a Good Old Car, since it was published in 1921. Florence Ziegfeld saw one of her vaudeville performances and signed her in 1912. She made her New York debut in Ziegfeld's A Winsome Widow in June of that year. By October, she was a featured performer in the Ziegfeld Follies. Ray Samuels, it could be said, also discovered Mr. Bojangles, Bill Robinson. She had seen him dance in vaudeville performances and told her husband/agent, Marty Forkin, that he should sign Robinson as a client. He did, both because of Ray's influence and because Marty could clearly see that Robinson was immensely talented. Bill Robinson became the first African-American to have solo appearances as a vaudeville headliner, and for many years he was making $3,000 per week, which in 2021 dollars is close to $50,000 per week. Marty Forkin had many different stories about how he first met Bill Robinson. Every time he told the story, it seemed to change. But we do know for sure that he was Robinson's agent and helped propel Robinson to fame. Apparently, Robinson and Forkin never had a written contract. They had a handshake deal from the time they began working together until Robinson's death in 1949. Ray Samuels played a wide variety of roles as a vaudeville artist, but her primary strength and greatest talent was in singing. Her great enthusiasm for the work, her magnetic personality, her charming charisma, her good looks and her vivacious kinetic performance style, as well as the racy songs she often performed, earned her billing as the Blue Streak of Vaudeville. She liked to perform in front of a blue background with a lightning bolt across it. In 1921, the Los Angeles Times wrote about her, quote, "Ray is like no other performer. She has a way of her own, and it is so good she has never been equaled in her field. It is useless to describe Ray. One might as well try to analyze a sunbeam or distill moonshine." Ray Samuels was one of the most famous and successful vaudeville performers of all time. Her likeness appeared on the covers of many pieces of sheet music. During her time, everyone knew her name. Today, she is almost entirely forgotten. During the 1930s, vaudeville began to fade away, and many performers transitioned to film. Many tried to transition to film, but didn't survive. Ray Samuels just kind of faded away with vaudeville, never attempting to become a film star, but leaving her vaudeville fame behind to become a wife and mother. In 1933, she appeared in a short film titled The Big Benefit, which featured brief performances by several different vaudeville artists, including the aforementioned Bill Robinson. Her performance in this short film is possibly the only recording of her now to exist. She sings Papa's Back with Mama Now. Unlike many showbiz stars, Ray Samuels didn't waste her money. She and her husband's savings, in addition to her husband's very long career as an agent, allowed them to live a very long and comfortable retirement. Marty Forkins died in 1966 after 50-plus years of marriage to Rachel. Ray herself passed away in 1979 while living in New Jersey, beloved by her family but entirely forgotten by the world of show business. My main sources of information for this video were the blogs Stuff Nobody Cares About and Travelanche. Links will be below the video. Ending music provided by Stuff Nobody Cares About. The ending music is the only known recording of Ray Samuels' Papa's Back with Mama Now. Here it is.
When prosperity was at its height, all the boys got suddenly rich. Every fella from a banker to a caddy turned out to be a heavy sugar daddy. Husbands who never cheated in their lives got that certain kind of a niche, left their good old-fashioned wives and took a penthouse on the drive. Then came the crash. They lost all their cash, and when Papa's money was spent, he couldn't get stuff anymore on the cuff, so back to the missus he went. No more money, stocks or bonds, no more honey to feed those blondes. Papa's hanging out with Mama now. He bopped on penthouse with lovers' nooks, no Jap butlers or Chinese cooks. Papa's right back home with Mama now. Gone are the dames he bought Persian lamb coats for. All the lambs scrammed out the windows when the wolf came in the door. No more cruises on whoopee ships, ringside table or $10 tips. He's satisfied to see a movie with his frau. And when he isn't sleepy and has time to kill, he doesn't go outside to get himself a thrill, 'cause he finds there's a kick in the old gal still. Papa's back with Mama now, he's a good boy. Papa's back with Mama now.